welcome to the Geek Pride podcast. I am Sean Wallace.
I'm Matt Geary.
I'm James Buckingham.
And I am Mike August.
You will note that there isn't any females on this podcast today because I killed
Sausage
them for a
fest.
mutiny last time.
They've been
Yes.
They've been disciplined for last week's mutiny.
So as a consequence, tonight's podcast is a sausage fest.
That's right.
I've heard to think of it as a beard fest.
Yes.
A beard
There
fest.
are a lot
All right.
of beards going on.
There are good
I'm-
number
I'm-
of beards.
But
I am a
Mike,
bit less bearded than normal.
Yeah, I think Mike's definitely got the best beard going on.
You damn
Absolutely.
right you do.
He is the Thor of beards.
But I will take that, sir. Thank you very much.
So, today's podcast is probably going to be a bit of a random one all over the place. We have been covering off things that people like, but we seem to have run out of main themes for episodes. And so we're just going to crack on with some random stuff. First one that I suggested was just a conversation about a very weird kind of film, which is the film made from a video game. It's a very strange subset of films which can be very hit or
Terrible.
miss. Yeah, mainly miss.
Okay, then so we start off with video games that turned into good films.
I
All right,
can,
I'll throw it out there. I can count one.
Yeah, I can't.
Silent Hill is the only one I've enjoyed,
Yes.
mainly because they had the tone right, they had the aesthetics right. I thought it did all right.
Absolutely
it got
agree.
slated.
yes, Silent Hill 1 is one of my
Yeah.
favourite films. I absolutely love it. What they did really well was they used the first game and the canon of the games as a jumping off point and told their own story.
Mm.
And they used a lot of, they used the shots from the game, they used music from across the three games, they
Yeah.
used characters from games 1 and 2 and 3. Yeah, it worked quite well.
The most amusing complaint I've ever heard about a movie, and it was that movie, was it feels like you're watching someone play the game. It's like, surely that was the point. It's- I don't understand why you could complain in that manner. So
This is a bit of a shameful
Just-
thing to admit, but being one of the biggest Sean Bean fans in the world, I still haven't seen a Silent Hill film.
Oh, you should. You definitely should. If only because it'll be a rare treat for you.
Because he doesn't die? Or does he die?
Spoiler,
yeah.
he doesn't die.
Whoa!
Da, da, da.
Whoa! My God!
To be
I
fair
know,
though, in the first movie he's not in it a great deal anyway, so it's more about Radha Mitchell's character.
Did you know that the first draft of the Silent Hill script, when it went to the studio, they came back and the note was, there aren't enough men? And so Sean Bean's character and his character arc were added in after the fact in order to meet that note. Because if you think, obviously, particularly talking to James and any viewers / listeners who've actually seen the film, if you think about it, you've got female main character, there's female cop, female adversary,
Most of the
the mother.
all the nurses, everything.
It's
Pretty much
almost-
everyone is female apart from Pyramid Head. That's
Yeah.
the only.
Yeah, like I say, the big,
female
knife,
character.
the big knife guy. The guy who I
Yeah.
couldn't actually. I got to him in the game and had to put the game down. Sort of like, Joey from Friends. I had to put it in the freezer. I can't play it anymore.
But surely that's
Oh,
a
no.
man, isn't it?
Say it again?
Because surely
He's man enough for everyone.
Because he's supposed to be the manifestation of hypermasculinity, isn't he?
Yeah, yes, if we're going right into it, in Silent Hill 2, he is a visualization of James's lost masculinity at the fact that he couldn't
Not
save
yours,
his
Buckingham,
wife.
the character.
Yeah, not yours, James. James
Got any
James
lost
Sunderland.
masculinity?
Yeah, James Sunderland. His lost masculinity, being unable to prevent the death of his wife, and his guilt at having actually helped her to escape this mortal coil. And so, yeah, he's a very brutal epitome of masculinity, very muscled, very broad, and he carries an enormous penis
Yeah,
slash
All,
knife.
all about the penetration at the end of the day.
Yeah,
exactly.
absolutely. And he turns up in Silent Hill, the film, being probably the main male character, before Sean Bean was added.
Yeah.
Mm. And then,
But
of
yeah,
course, there's his abortion of attempt at including him in the second film. What the fuck, really?
viewers will be able to hear this because I'm about to head desk. That film hurt me so.
Indeed.
The second one.
Yes.
The second one, yeah. Even Jon Snow couldn't save that movie.
Yes, Jon Snow stars playing as a character who's supposed to be 15 years older than him. From Silent Hill 3. And I actually thought the opening half an hour to 35 minutes of the film were quite okay. They were pretty well done. There were some really good touches, some good callbacks to the games in the same way that Silent Hill had been done. But
I thought it was quite visually interesting to watch, but aside from that, there was...
As soon as it actually got to Silent Hill, it just fell apart. It was just so badly done. It was... Have you ever seen like the later Nightmare on Elm Street films where it kind of feels like their budget and as a result their writing ability was taken away? It was that kind of film. It was awful.
Like Dream Warriors and anything, including and after that was just abortion of the movie again.
Matt, Mike, any other films made from video games that you can actually think of as being respectable?
I'm gonna get.
It depends on what you. I kind of liked Street Fighter in a weird sort of
Really?
yeah, don't know why. I don't know.
That has
Kylie
to be
Minogue as Kami.
No, I mean, that had to be probably the worst movie that Raul Julia could have died immediately after. I mean, being known to have that as your last movie, I mean, oh dear.
I quite like Mario Brothers as well in a sort of weird way.
I was about to say, if anyone says Mario Brothers, I'll stab them with a fork.
James, you're going to have to stab me as well, because I liked it very much as a kid.
Yeah,
I watched it. Yeah,
Both of you are going to Eurogamer, right?
Yeah.
I feel the back of my hand.
But, you know, as a kid, I thought it was pretty awesome, man.
Yeah.
You know, it just sort of, it wasn't the games, and really, but it had sort of kind of little nods, and I quite like. I liked the little mini sort of T-Rex Yoshi. I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah.
I was about to say.
Yeah, it was okay. I don't think it was.
I heard nothing there. Everybody just sort of kind of went silent.
Yeah, that was a bit strange.
Yeah, that was weird.
I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this probably, but I really like from 1 to 3 the Resident Evil movies. After that, awful, but 1 to 3 I loved.
Oh, Resident Evil 1, I might have let you get away with.
I really like the third one.
That's kind of passable until they start including the fucking Nemesis. It's just like Nemesis looks like something out of Power Rangers. It's just a complete waste of time.
I'm a massive fan of post-apocalyptic films, and they sort of. I just love it. I do.
Have you watched The Book of Eli?
I have.
Yes.
I love that.
Good movie.
Well, there you go. That's a good post-apocalyptic film.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I've watched a lot, like A Boy and His Dog, and that kind of all the weird stuff, like Hell Comes to Frogtown, all those sort of really.
Did you watch The Road?
That is the most depressing film I have ever seen in my
Dude,
entire
do you wanna hear depressing?
life.
Read the book.
Yeah, the books.
There's no punctuation in the book, so it's just bleak.
Yeah, my mate, I remember my mate Smith was telling me about it because he's read all of his books. Like, I can't remember. Obviously, Country for Old Men, and I think he does that as well, doesn't he? No Country for Old Men. But he said The Road was horrible, like literally just really bleak. So I was like, well, I got to check that out. But it came out in the cinema before I got to read the book, so no, I'll give it a whirl. I swear to God, man, it's like downer, little bit of a dip of upness when they find some food, and then straight down again, and you're just like, oh my God, I feel slightly wrong when I left that film. It just sort of kind of left going, I just want to kill myself right now. This is horrible. It was a good film. It was a good film. It was just fucking horrible, man. It's just sort of like, it's not a film I'll watch again, to be honest. It's a film, I'm glad I've seen it, and it sort of kind of was well done, but I just couldn't watch it again. It was so traumatizing.
And you didn't like The Book of Eli either?
I know I didn't dislike it. It just sort of, I don't know what it was about it. It just sort of
Have you watched it more than once?
it sort of kind of took to me as sort of kind of trying to, because it came out about the same time as The Road, didn't it? So, or there was another film similar to it that came out at the same time, and I just thought it was sort of trying to ride off the back of the post-apocalyptic sort of end of the world sort of thing, and the whole sort of Denzel Washington's actually blind thing. I was just like,
Spoiler.
it's fucking ages old. If you haven't seen it now, you don't deserve to see it. That's I didn't dislike it, and I don't. You know me. I don't dislike many films. But it's just I just didn't go, woo, that's an awesome film. It was just sort of I'm
pretty much a case of.
You all need to go and watch Hell Comes to Frogtown. It's awful. It's who is it? Rowdy Roddy Piper.
No way.
The wrestler, really?
He's one of He's one of the few last men on Earth, and the government take him because he's fertile. And his job throughout the entirety of the film is to go and repopulate mankind.
Is that an old film? Because I remember seeing the
basically...
film.
Oh, it's old as hell, yeah.
Yes, mate, I have seen that, and it's just something like he dresses up like a woman or something, or
he goes to this bar where there are like loads of frog people, and the women try to like copulate with him. And he's like, ah, and
I think
he escapes from the government. He's wearing like these sex hands. But if he steps away from the government, then they explode his junk.
I didn't know that was right. I remember seeing that years ago.
So it's like a genital-based version of Wedlock?
Essentially, yes.
I remember seeing that years ago, man. I had no idea it was Roddy Piper as well. Fucking hell. You learn something new every day.
Doesn't he wear the same plaid shirt and everything that used to wrestle?
Oh, yeah.
I remember, I've seen the cover, that's about it. It's like, Roddy Piper.
Going back quickly to Book of Eli, I couldn't disagree with you more, Matt, because when you watch that film a second time, when you know about it, and you're just like, this dude is badass, because you just see how like, everything he goes through, and like, to the point like when he opens that door and then there's the corpse and he's like, oh, like that, and you think, oh, how would he do that? Well, obviously because of the smell. But he knows that, and he knows he's...
I got that, man. It's just, it sort of didn't really do much for me. I'm not massively into sort of kind of religiously, what's the word?
Ambiguous?
Yeah, I just don't, it wasn't sort of, I don't know, it just didn't sort of push a lot of buttons for me. I didn't dislike it, I enjoyed it. It just sort of, afterwards it didn't come out sort of kind of buzzing or anything. I just sort of kind of went,
Okay, so Matt has no soul, and... Going back though, how can you possibly justify watching Resident Evil 2 or 3 and enjoying them?
Right.
They are. Which one's 3? Which
Three's
one's
the post-apocalyptic one where everything goes wrong and Alice suddenly...
Where they're in Vegas.
She's pretty much psychic, which I didn't massively agree with, but visually, the crows and the fire was, well, that's phenomenal. It's awesome. And I don't know, it's just... I've got a little bit of a thing for Mila Jovovich being angry, I think. Maybe that's what it is.
Are you sure it's not a thing for... Is it not a thing for Mila Jovovich being butt naked at some point in the movie?
Yeah, I thought that might be one of the reasons you might like that film.
you say that, but I really do like the whole post-apocalyptic thing, and it had that down pat for a good, for the first 2 acts. It was really good. Then the whole Nemesis thing happened. And it's the same reason why I really disliked the films after that, because I saw the 4th one, which is so badly geared towards people for 3D. And
is that the one that ended on the aircraft carrier?
Yeah.
I didn't like fucking Wesker.
And it was horrible, and all the Alice clones and stuff. And it's just that's why I said 1 to 3, because I think 2's kind of cool, where she wakes up in Raccoon City and she's all... No, see, that's gonna make me no. She's got and got nothing to do with the fact that she's naked.
Honest.
The token black guy's a little bit, done, but I think it's an film. But I haven't seen these films in about 6 years. I just remember that I very much loved 1, 2, and 3, but 4 made me cry a little bit.
Okay. Matt, any attempt by you to come up with another film based on a video game which was respectable? I'm not saying brilliant, I'm saying respectable.
Oh God. There's probably been loads, and I just can't think off the top of my head. Can anybody help me out?
I don't think there are. I don't think there are.
No, most other ones are just shocking.
I just can't think of any other game. I mean, game films in general. Can we list some of them? Because I can't really think.
All missing Dead or Alive, you know.
Oh, it's Dead or Alive. I watched that in the cinema.
Yeah.
I mentioned that previously.
How about the Tekken movie?
Surely
I haven't
that's a
seen the
film you
Tekken
can
movie.
only watch on your own.
The Tekken movie shit.
There's
There was a guy in a trench coat in the back room.
There's anything that you Bowl produced, which
No.
includes Alone in the Dark,
House of the Dead.
Dungeon Siege.
Oh, what about the CGI
Blood Rain.
films? Can we count CGI films? Because in that
Well,
case,
like Resident Evil Degeneration.
Yeah,
that kind
Or
of stuff.
Resident
That was
Evil. Is
awesome.
it Afterlife or whatever it was
um,
called? The one.
No, Afterlife is the fifth one with Mia
yeah,
Jovovich.
that
Oh,
doesn't
okay.
count.
There's two Resident Evil CGI ones. There's the one set in America in the airport,
That's
and then there's one.
Regeneration.
Yeah, and then there's one set in Eastern Europe, which was just the most daft thing I've ever watched.
What about sort of mini-series? Can I count this sort of films? And
Like
because-
what?
well, Forward Until Dawn, the Halo mini-series was.
That was good, to be fair. I enjoyed that.
Yeah, I liked that a lot.
I was quite surprised.
I'm a big Halo nut, but I thought it was awesome. And the idea that they might be making a series, I wouldn't mind a film, but a series might be good as well. So, and some of the
If it ends up-
animated stuff's actually really good as well. So,
Yeah, I mean, if it ends up like BSG or that kind of caliber, then I have no problem with the Halo movie at all. I mean, it's kind of thing that could involve politics or religion quite easily, and make it quite in depth and
yeah, definitely
divisive. I think.
Yeah.
As a kid, I loved the Sonic the Hedgehog movie. The anime.
This-
There was an anime.
Yeah.
Okay, I was going to say.
Oh,
Wore a hat. It was
oh, how about the Mortal Kombat movie?
Yes.
the Mortal
Yes,
Kombat
I'm sorry. I love the first.
movies.
Yeah, man. Do you know what? I
No,
actually
no,
quite
no,
like. I actually quite
And
like
that
them.
never happened. Just the first one.
The second one's sort of good in a shit sort of way. I went to see that in the cinema as well.
They're
It's sort
both
of one of those
awful.
No.
There's so many stupid things wrong. Like there's so many stupid things wrong with Mortal Kombat as a film. It just, it's woeful. Like there's an actual
At least the
scene.
first one had Christopher Lambert.
Well, yeah, that's true. But there's an actual scene where Johnny Cage, Liu Kang, and Sonya are fighting. Are fighting a group of like ninjas, and there's 8 of them. Liu Kang takes 4, Johnny Cage takes 3, Sonya takes 1. It's like, well, why? Why has Sonya only got 1 when she is the fully trained, military
It's a
police
misogynistic
person?
movie.
Yeah, it's awful. There's so many stupid
is.
things. Like the fact that nobody ever thought to punch Guro in the balls. Johnny Cage was the first one ever to try that. In centuries of combat, nobody had realised that he had sensitive testicles.
The one thing sort of disappointed me, obviously Mortal Kombat was all about the death moves and stuff, and I thought it would be like, they'd make it all gory and stuff, you know, like proper sort of over the top, sort of, and then you could sort of accept it being a bit shitter as well, because it would just be gratuitous violence, wouldn't it? But
Pretty much.
you know,
I think the only part that I actually enjoyed was the Sub-Zero demonstration at the beginning, where the guy does a flying kick and he frees him midair and he just ends up shattering. That's the only good part of the movie. That's the only part I enjoyed. The rest of it is just really bad. Although I've seen something new. Have you seen the Double Dragon movie?
no.
It's
They did a
on
Double
Netflix.
Dragon movie.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
on
wow.
Netflix. It's fucking shocking. I couldn't watch it all. It's like Mario Brothers and fucking He-Man and the Masters of the Universe mixed into one.
Does it start off with
It's-
some guy? Does it start off with some guy coming over and punching some bird in the stomach and then carrying her off?
No.
'Cause that's what happens in the
But
games.
it's like it's post-apocalyptic again, but it's like Mad Max in a city, and there's a curfew, and if you're out after curfew, it's like free reign for gangs and stuff. and you know they're out after curfew and they're saving some shit. It's shit. It's really bad. But if you want to laugh, like watch it when you're pissed. That's a good save. It's that bad.
Another awful film to mention is Doom.
Oh, mate, with what's his name? The Rock.
With Dwayne
Yeah,
Johnson.
Dwayne and Carl Urban.
I'm quite surprised that he didn't actually play the main sort of kind of soldier and stuff.
What, Dwayne?
Yeah, because it was quite good that he sort of turned bad, sort of, at the end. It was shit, but it was still sort of kind of watchable.
I'd say spoiler, but if you watch Doom at this point, then you deserve everything you get.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
yeah, it was.
I don't know, I've seen worse movies, and unfortunately, I have to have that in my collection for the half.
I quite like the fact that they had the gun
Carl
view,
Urban.
you know, like in the game
Yes.
with the guns.
They're like 5 minutes.
That worked pretty well.
Yeah.
It worked better than I thought it would.
It worked better
When I
than the
heard they
rest
were
of the
putting-
film.
Yeah, it's just when I heard they were putting in a first-person section, it was like, really? That's like you a Bull putting in gameplay in the middle of House of the Dead, which he did, by the way. No, really, it's like it's interspersed. House of the Dead, if you watch like 20 minutes of it, it's interspersed with sections of gameplay from the arcade.
Any reason?
Like, really? No reason. Just that it's
Brilliant.
just that he can. He's a fucking retard. I hate the man.
Well,
I needed
you say that. He's also actually a genius because he worked out a way to make awful films and profit massively from it.
Yeah, true. Very true.
Have you seen? Sorry. Sorry.
No, it's fine. I'm not going to say what I'm going to say because he'll come to my house and punch me. Because the
That
guy's a
could be
boxer, isn't he?
That could be our slanderous note for the end of the podcast.
He's outside.
It could be. Didn't some guy call him out and then he went to the boxing ring and he decked the guy? Was or was that just me in my head
Is
thinking
that like the
he
Keanu
was
Reeves
actually?
thing?
I don't know. It was some movie director or something called out Uwe and said, "Oh, you're a twat and you shit and you movies." And Uwe said, "All right, fucking let's have a fight then," and he did. And Uwe decked the guy. Yeah. I can't remember when that was, but I'm fairly certain that happened. Either that or I was tripping my balls off.
Same as that rumor about what's his face, wooden actor, Keanu Reeves. What? That guy, Matrix guy.
Whoa. Yeah.
That's my.
Well, what was the rumor?
Well, so apparently someone said, "Oh yeah, you never did any of that kung fu, and you never learned any of it," and he did. He spent weeks and weeks learning kung fu.
Yeah.
Apparently
He was like the first one there, the last one to leave, kind of thing.
Yeah. And apparently he just roundhouse kicked the guy.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I have back for Keanu Reeves now. That's actually quite good.
Keanu Reeves is actually an oddly respectable guy. He travels by public transport, and he set up his own charity foundation that like 90% of his wages go to, and things like that. He's actually he's a weird
hippie, isn't he?
guy.
I mean,
And he's
with the
doing
name
Bill
like
and Ted
Keanu.
3, so, I mean,
Pardon?
And he's doing Bill and Ted 3, so I mean,
Is
Is
that
he?
every reason to like him. Yeah, Bill and Ted 3's been confirmed.
No way.
As long as Alex Winter does it as well.
What was the
it's
last?
all good.
What was the last film you saw with Alex Winter in it?
Bill and Ted 2.
I think
Did you not see?
I rewatched The Lost Boys.
There was another one. There was another one with him where he's like a freak, and it's got a bunch of freaks.
Oh yeah, it's like Circus Freaks.
Yeah, something like that, and they sort of get
Yeah, I saw that.
somebody gets turned into a worm, and somebody gets turned into like a dog boy, and
Yeah, it's a good movie. That I can't. I'm gonna have to IMDb it now.
I can't remember what it's called.
If I look a bit perplexed, I'm looking online now.
Oh, I see.
fair
Yeah.
enough?
But he's like a turned into like a director and stuff, and apparently he's British as well, which I didn't know. Born over here.
Really?
Yeah, apparently so. Unless I've
Okay,
made that
I
up,
didn't know
I'm pretty sure he's British.
Fair play.
Just like Slash, born in Stoke-on-Trent.
Yeah, but you know he's about as British as a not very British
Bulldog.
thing. Sorry, I couldn't think of a good.
As British as rock and roll, yeah. Sorry, I had it. So Gearson's not here, so I just had to throw that in there.
Oh, okay.
With the horns.
Raging.
Are we going to get him coming as a late edition when he's off the motorway or wherever he's stuck?
No, I think he'll probably not be on tonight, to be honest. He was proper on. He was on proper sort of on a mission on my birthday on Friday though. It was hilarious. Yes.
Why do you have horns?
He's pissing about the the pirate hat suits you better, I think.
It's all about the pirate hat right now.
Well, it is because of last week's mutiny.
Yeah.
Yeah, the mutiny last week, bro. I was all like listening, and these mofos. They are. Sorry, if people are listening to this, on the podcast, they'll be like, "What the fuck is he doing? What's he doing? I've got a scuba mask on. Ooh, I'm a pirate with a scuba mask. Ooh."
For those of you listening, Matt's just demonstrating why we nearly overthrew him. Getting a bit back then. Has anybody seen any of the other U-Ball films? I saw
House of the Dead is the only one. I won't watch another.
I tried to watch Alone in the Dark, not realizing it was one, and couldn't get beyond the first 10 minutes.
Did it
intersperse
gameplay?
Alone in the Dark. No, well, he might have done. He just didn't in the first 10 minutes.
Fair enough.
Yeah, no, I have seen. I think I watched a little bit of Blood Rain 3. So he's made 3 Blood Rain films, obviously.
He did movie as well, didn't he?
What?
Sorry, say that again, man. You died off there.
Who, me? Oh, he did the Far Cry movie, didn't he?
There was a Far Cry movie?
Yeah, I think it was. I have no idea.
I think maybe there needs to be an article written of all the games that were turned into films.
Sean's turning. What is it with people sounding like Wally? I think Sean's gone now. He's Wallying as well.
Yeah,
yeah.
We're fine.
Yeah, we're good. That's
Yeah, Matt, it's just you.
it's just me.
No, there you go. You're back now, Sean.
You're back now, Sean.
Oh, that's weird. I'm back.
You were doing the Wally.
Oh, now you're off again.
Oh no.
Oh,
that's weird.
The Alex Winters movie is called Freaked, by the way.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
I remember it being quite good.
The worm keeps on trying to get somebody to wipe his arse, and it's quite funny. So.
Nice.
I'm pretty sure that's got Keanu Reeves in it as well as the dog boy. Maybe not. I'm not sure. Not sure. Are you on the? Are you on?
Watch it.
Yeah.
Oh, I was looking up on IMDb. Yeah.
I'll tell you a role that Keanu Reeves was awful in. The Bram Stoker's Dracula.
I quite liked it.
What? It was Dick Van Dyke.
It's a good movie. It's a good movie.
Actually, go and investigate the castle.
All right, governor. Shine your shoes for you.
Hello.
Sweep your chimney. I am English.
But I hate
Apples and pears.
I listen to a lot of the Kev Smith podcasts, and whenever they break out the English accents, they're like, "Oh,
I know."
And you're like, "Oh." Okay.
Oh, it's awful. I hate it whenever an American breaks out an English accent, it makes me cringe. But then I'm guilty of it because whenever I try and do an American accent, I don't do Bostonian. I do Bill and Ted. Do Chicago. Do you?
That's basically my American accent. It's like, dude.
I tend to do
South.
Well, like Mississippi.
Yeah, South.
We should
like, howdy, y'all.
You mean kind of more redneck American?
American
Yeah.
accents just to offend our American listeners.
Readership, yeah.
I'm trying to think. Well, you got Jimbo from Portland, Oregon. I'm not sure if that's what
Oregonian.
Oregonians sound like.
He's an Oregonian.
Then we've got Florida. I'm not even sure. Got Aaron from Florida. I have no idea what Floridian accent sounds like. Probably British because there's so many British people in Florida who don't tip. Apparently, he don't tip. And anybody who's listening to this who's America, it's not because we're ignorant bastards. It's because we've got a different tipping culture and we're not sure what we're meant to do.
We have a higher minimum wage.
Yeah. I know, completely ran off subject and stuff, but the whole tipping thing, I'm slightly scared. I think I might get lynched if I go to America. I thought I was a serial tipper over here, but it sounds like, if you don't tip everybody at the right time with the right percentage, they'll literally kill you dead.
They will literally kill you dead.
Literally kill you dead.
Hey, there's this guy over here. He didn't tip me enough. I'm gonna go to his house.
My God! What the hell Hey, buddy, what you doing? I'm tipping over here.
You call it 10%?
Wah,
Where?
Of course,
wah. Oh, that's like, what's his name? The actor.
Al Pacino.
I'm here.
we are by the English accent being done. It's more.
Sean, you're doing the wall.
Sorry, it's more offensive probably from America. Oh, talking over each other a bit.
Sorry.
Go.
Nobody's talking now. Because
How's that going?
See,
The title of this podcast, the
I might-
awkward one.
that's the issue with us being British. We're too polite, so everyone's too quiet for long.
Yeah.
But we're poor tippers, apparently. Bad tippers.
All right. All
Yeah.
those like video game movies go. What games do you think should be made into movies?
Do you know what? I want the good.
BioShock.
You know, I know it's sort of. It's not. Oh, BioShock would be quite
Yeah.
a good thing. Yeah, BioShock.
BioShock.
Would be good.
Metal Gear Solid.
Half-Life.
Oh wait. Sorry.
No,
Yeah,
Metal Gear Solid
well,
already is a film.
Yeah, I know. That's what I was saying. Yeah.
Ah,
Metal Gear Solid 4. Yeah, you play all of about 3 hours.
Yeah, true.
It's pretty shocking. Like there's one level where you land in a foreign country. I can not specify any more than that because it was one big blur for me. But you go from one end of the level, you travel about 300 yards, then there's another cutscene, and we're not just talking. You know,
They're like 20-minute cutscenes,
yeah.
aren't they?
It's like watching a 5-hour-long movie.
did you see that for their teaser for the next Metal Gear Solid game, they had a character riding across the desert, and they sped up the gameplay and cut a bunch of it out so that it would be better for the trailer, which then leads you to ask, well, doesn't that mean that the actual bit of the gameplay will be pretty boring if you've had to speed it up and cut some out to make it interesting enough for a gameplay trailer?
It's free roaming, isn't it? The next Metal Gear, isn't it? It's all free roaming.
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Mhm.
Apparently so. Yeah.
Which is an excuse to just pad things out by having a massive gap between any bit of plot.
Yeah. Desert. There you go.
It gives you enough time to probably get some sort of codec call while you're riding your horse into the desert for 4 hours, so people can tell you what they've had for lunch that day,
Yeah,
or how it makes you sad.
BioShock would be my first tip for a game to be made with a film
Alright,
to be made
okay.
with a game.
If a BioShock film was to be made, who would you cast in the film? Ooh.
It would depend what story you wanted to tell, because I think you probably would be better served not doing the plot of the first one. I don't know. I guess it would depend which direction you went in. I'd like to see Tim Curry as Andrew Ryan, maybe.
Oh, Tim Curry, old school.
Yeah, go proper old school on that.
Yeah.
Or Alan Rickman.
Yes.
Yeah, that would be good.
But, yeah, it's mostly the setting and the concept which could be quite good in a BioShock film if done very well. My other shout would be Half-Life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind seeing. I know it's not. Well, I suppose it is computer games as well. But I wouldn't mind seeing sort of some sort of good 40K sort of film because it's got such a wealth of sort of story and it just seemed to murder it even games. Well, this seem to murder it every time somebody gets their hands on it. I just want something. I want it done properly. Because there's so much
there.
there.
A film coming out soon?
They've got
fan films.
There's a fan film. There's a Lord Inquisitor.
No, there's an official CGI film coming out from Games Workshop soon.
Really?
Wow.
I know there was the Ultramarine one, which was fucking dog shit. But there's
Let me
there's
look it up.
there's Inquisitor, Lord Inquisitor, I think, which is a fan film, which looks half decent.
To be fair though, you say Inquisitor and I've just got Red Dwarf in my head.
Yeah.
I can't help it.
But yeah, and it just sort of, it's one of those things. It's got, even games-wise, they don't seem to sort of really give a shit when the thing about Games Workshop, they're really protective of, press and media, and like if people sort of kind of even go near their intellectual property, they're on them with their solicitors and stuff. But then they give out the sort of rights to really shit movie makers and sort of, game publishing companies, and you're just like, what the fuck, man? That you'd have. But I guess it's all because all they care about is the money. Says me, who just spent about 300 quid on Games Workshop stuff recently. But there you go.
Well, it's a well-known fact that most people who use Games Workshop hate Games Workshop, and Games Workshop hate you. So
yeah, it's true though. It's just like all we do is moan about it and moan about how much they're money grabbing bastards and how we really.
They
and
never
then
got their prices; they just go up every year.
Yeah, it's true. And then all I do is spend more money, and it's because they've got you. They've got you.
So,
it's a horrible marriage?
Yeah, it is. It really is. Sort of, motherfuckers.
Is it fair to say then that Games Workshop are to desktop gaming like Microsoft are to console and PC gaming?
Yes.
Yeah,
I would say
fair enough.
Yeah, and it's just it really is a sort of love-hate sort of thing. You can't not buy their thing.
It's like having a wife who's extremely high maintenance and likes to make a scene all the time. Like, the sex is incredible. She looks
Sounds a bit like my relationship, that.
So Matt, you're the high maintenance one, yeah?
Oh mate, you have not met my missus, and she'll accept it. Did you see the photograph I put on Facebook of Friday night? Or you wouldn't have, because I put it on her Facebook. Basically, we went out drinking on Friday night, and it was some serious sort of big drinking, and she necked a pint of dregs as a bet, and it had tomato sauce and brown sauce and tequila and vodka and all kinds of shit, and she was basically unconscious by about 11 o'clock, and I had to take her home by about 1:30, and but yeah,
She was unconscious by 11. You took her home at 1:30.
Mate, it was my birthday. It was my birthday. It was my birthday, and I wasn't leaving.
You are an excellent fiance there, Matt. 2.5 hours. You didn't even take
her home.
home.
Do
you know what? I think I kind of left her with my mate. She was unconscious on his lap, so I just kind of went talking away.
Oh, this gets better and better.
This mate wasn't Gisden, was it?
No, he was. Kirsten was. Yabbering bollocks in the corner somewhere to me, actually, but no, she was sort of talking to somebody, and it was quite amusing. But it was just I wanted to carry on drinking, but she obviously...
Does your fiance listen to these podcasts?
No, but she can probably hear me out the door. She's probably plotting to kill me.
This door's the sofa, right?
This door's going to open very soon, and she's going to come in, and it's all going to go black.
I'm waiting for the frying pan to the back of the head, seriously.
If I was your girlfriend looking at your room right now, I think I'd just put a lighter to that scarf. Just walk away and let the fire do the rest.
That's not imaginative enough. I'd open all the toys behind while she was away.
Oh, you know what? That is my that is my absolute nightmare.
Sean.
The worst. I've got two worries that either one day I will fall out with me and Melissa's irreconcilably split up or something. Something will happen, and then I'll come home to get my stuff, and all of these will be opened, broken, on the floor, out the window, and I think I would die. I would die a little bit. Or secondly, everything goes perfectly and we have lots of little bambinos and they're all lovely, and I'll come home from a hard day graft, and there'll be fucking little Johnny with fucking Boromir's head in his mouth going nah, 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 and I'm like, no.
So Matt, you don't worry that you'll lose your fiance, but you worry that if you do, she'll damage your toys.
No, of course I do. Of course, I love my fiance, and that would be a horrible thing to happen. But I love my toys. Don't get it pains me. Like I had to give. We had. She's got like a million nieces and nephews, and I'm all right with kids and stuff. So I was showing them my room and stuff, and they're all like picking up my stuff and going pew, and I'm like, put it down. Look your eyes, not your hands. Put the stuff down. They don't go. Oh, can we open these toys? No, you can't open the toys. Oh, can we have one? Oh, go on, please, let me have one. And I was like, So I found a double. I gave them a double of one of my toys, and even that hurt me. That really hurt me, giving away one of my toys. I actually got to the point where I knew her sister obviously saw the pain in my eyes and actually gave me it back a couple of weeks later. It was just like, here you go, you can have this. It's one of those sort of kind of let go, no.
So, Mike, James, Matt, any bets for a game which should be made into a film?
Ooh.
You were meant to be looking up what happened to the Warhammer thing. Did you look it up?
I did, and you were right. It was a fan-made one, which seems to have had Games Workshop's blessing after the fact, and it got a bit of funding that way.
As far as games that should be movies, Uncharted would probably go down quite well.
Yeah.
Stick Nathan Fillion in the title role.
Stick Nathan Fillion.
Off you go.
It's genius.
Pretty much.
Um.
But yeah, I mean, he'd do that justice, I reckon.
He's a bit old though, isn't he?
What?
Nathan Drake's like 23 or something
He could play a
stupid.
23-year-old.
No, he couldn't.
What about Gears of War? Do you reckon that might be
that
quite a
would
good film?
If you had the budget, that would make shit tons of money because everyone. Would
Yeah.
do that. It's one of those games, and you've got a good enough plot to make a film out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like Halo again, isn't it? You can
Yeah.
spin money out of anything with those kind of properties.
I just what I understand is when they do films like that and then they change the plot a lot, and it's just like, well, why couldn't you sort of kind of stick it to what the game was? I don't understand. It was just slightly annoying. I'm trying to think of an example, but I can't get one.
Well, the only good film to game that we've talked about is Silent Hill, which did the exact thing you said you don't like. It took the plot and did something entirely different with it. And I think the problem actually is where either there's no plot to the games and they try and make one a la Mortal Kombat or Street Fighter, or
The plot in Street Fighter was genius. That's whoever needs some kind of Oscar.
or they stick too close to the game, because there are things that don't work in films that worked in games. They just
It's the same
are.
as comics, Sean. It's the same.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
Galactus had to be a big cloud because if you'd have stuck a massive dude in purple leggings in there, then no one would have believed that.
Well, Mike, putting my geek head on, Galactus actually was a big cloud in one of the new Marvel universes. So they took.
I think that was because of the movie, though. I think.
No,
because they.
Ultimate Universe doesn't.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they did that before. Galactus was a all-consuming kind of cloud thing.
I'll use a different reference. The Watchmen.
Yeah.
I don't think the big tentacle beast, alien, psychic thing would have transferred. I think
No,
it was a
you're
clever
right.
decision they made.
And also, Batman didn't give up for 7 years in the comic books.
Yeah, but you didn't like that though. They changed that, and you were moaning about how you wouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have done that in the comics.
You've got to do it well. That's the thing. You've got to have a good writer who produces the script, and I think a lot of the time they decide to do a film of a game, and then they set it all up, cast everyone, and then they think, oh, we should probably have a script for this, shouldn't we? Let's do that tomorrow.
Sean Wallace looking for gainful employment as of December 20th. Or actually, when is your redundancy out, mate?
My redundancy is the 1st of August.
There you
That
go.
is my first unemployed day. So if anyone is looking for a writer, then I will be available from then.
Geek Pride full time.
Yeah, I wish.
If Matt could pay me,
Matt, crack the whip, man. He's fucking.
If I could pay,
Making me a
that'd be
bitch.
living the dream, mate, wouldn't it? Just being paid to do shit like this, wouldn't it?
Yeah, if
Be
anyone
awesome.
wants to sponsor us or the podcast, I mean, hi.
Yeah. We'll take your money. We'll
Give
do
us
whatever.
a
We'll
message.
start wearing
What's
sort
our,
of.
do we have an email address? We should probably tell them about the site www.geek-pride.co.uk.
Feel free
And-
to get in contact.
and Matt, what's your email? Because you're probably the guy to contact, aren't you?
Matt at geek-pride.co.uk.
So that brief plug aside,
Yeah, we'll do whatever you need. If you want us to wear sort of hats with your logo on them, we'll totally do that. If you want to wear like t-shirts and shit,
Definitely.
we're like that. We'll whore ourselves off.
Yeah.
You know, like recently I got emailed about some sort of electric cigarette company, and they want to give me 50 quid to plug some electric cigarette thing, and I was just like, do I have to smoke one of these electric cigarettes?
not very geeky though.
No,
unless-
I talked to them about it, and it's just
You
sort
have
of
to
like,
make some really tenuous links like
there has to be
Wolverine
something.
smokes cigarettes and so can you, but
I said to them, if you can give me something that links it in with geeky stuff, and I'll have a read of it, and we'll see. So we'll see
They
what they
should-
come up with.
They should make a lightsaber one.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
Actually, they're
that's
quite a good
really
one.
true. That's awesome.
Done. I'll throw in a random one.
Look.
I think that a Borderlands movie could be very good.
Yeah, again, it's tapping that sort of post-apocalyptic vibe.
Do you not think it's a bit too silly though? Do you not think it's not?
It would have to be a comedy
No, I
film.
think it would work
Yeah.
within the same. Yeah, it would work the same way that Zombieland worked.
Yeah. I'm not saying it would be a straight action film with Vin Diesel, though Vin Diesel could make a very odd brick. Um, Yeah, it
I
would
don't know. I
be
mean,
comedy.
Zombieland was originally done as like a series, wasn't it? So would it be better as a series or a movie? I mean,
Not
what would it
Borderlands, no.
translate to?
I think Borderlands would be an hour and a half of silly fun with ridiculous guns,
Mm.
and like bandits exploding in stupid ways and all this kind of stuff. And I think that's what it would be. It would be an hour and a half comedy that happened to feature a gun that fired a poisonous bullet, that kind of thing.
What about sort of Left 4 Dead or something like that?
It's just zombie though, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's just
It's just going to fall
It's a
into
little bit
standard zombie.
dumb.
Yeah,
But you can have one kind of a la sort of Evil Dead and make it sort of like comedy, because it's not serious, is it? It's sort of is it Left 4 Dead? Which is the one where you sort of kind of make stuff out of? Is it Left 4 Dead?
Dead Rising.
Dead Rising.
Dead Rising. That's it. Yeah.
Oh
Dead Rising would have made a
man,
good film.
cred
I know.
down.
I don't know. Sorry, I'm not into the zombie games, to be honest.
Yeah, I'd be
Dead
quite
Rising
happy
should
if
be
we
made into a
did.
film.
Nah, I think we should stop making zombie things. I've had enough.
Well, it seems that sharks seem to be making a rising. It seems to be the new thing.
Sharks.
Yeah,
Are you meaning like you're not making reference to Sharknado?
I am
Sharknado.
Sharknado, which has Will Wheaton going mental. He loves this film. He won't shut up about it on Twitter, and it's
Really?
hilarious. Yeah. If he's at Will W.
Yeah, WILW.
Yeah, and he literally won't shut up about Sharknado, and to the point where it's now trending.
It sounds like a really purposefully stupid film that.
Is it a B? Is it a B film? One of those sci-fi ones?
Like a sci-fi original.
Like Mega Shark versus.
Yeah.
Giant animal, whatever the fuck it was.
Mega Shark versus Crocosaurus.
Yeah.
Which was the one with the two-headed shark?
Damn it.
I saw the two-headed shark. I saw a picture.
Megalodon?
That sounds about right. Was the cover like somebody surfing with the shark in the
I can't remember.
behind?
I think shark films should definitely make a comeback.
But it's a silly genre though. Sharks kill fewer people across the globe than fridges.
Yeah.
Wow, you could have a fridge film.
How many people get killed by zombies a year?
Fridge-nado.
Do you not remember?
Fridge-nado!
Do you not remember that film back in the day about yogurt?
You heard it first.
Do you not remember that film back in the day about yogurt that used to kill people?
Oh god, that was awful.
There you go. You could have fridges. People like go into their fridge and they're like, "Yeah, I'm just going to my fridge, babe." Oh, and it fucking grabs them and eats them, and then it's like, "Oh my god, fucking fridge to eat somebody," and then like next, it fucking teleports somewhere else and starts eating other people and shit, and it's just like people don't know this fridge is killing people.
There needs to be another Killer Tomatoes movie.
Shit, yeah. Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
I watched the second one on Netflix the other day, and I was actually genuinely amused all the way through. Even to the point where George Clooney's character throws a pizza up in the air at the beginning and then catches it at the end. I was applauding that particular move. Seriously, that was like the best thing I've seen in a movie for quite a while.
What about Assassin's Creed? I think Assassin's Creed franchise would be amazing as a film.
Well, they're making it, aren't
series. Are they actually?
Yeah, what's his name? Fassbender.
Yeah. I don't know whether Fassbender's playing like Desmond or Altair or what, but he's involved somehow. So it sounds promising.
I bet he'd play Altair. He's got the right chin for it.
Possibly, I suppose. But it depends which way they're going to go with it. Whether they're just going to follow the story straight, or whether they're going to deviate slightly.
We didn't talk about another awful film made of a game, which was Prince of Persia.
Oh, I like that. I like that.
I don't mind it, but I don't mind it because my kids like it.
I like that.
It's quite entertaining in a Pirates of the Caribbean kind of way.
And I like the princess in it. She's smoking.
Oh, I can't remember what her name is. Gemma Arterton.
I've seen her in another film where she sort of gets kidnapped, and
she was in Clash of the Titans.
Was she? Oh yeah, she was, wasn't she? Yeah.
Yeah. As a IO.
So can we get this out of the way then? Is it actually for you guys a genuine thing in a film that you'll watch a film just because there is a aesthetically pleasing
A
woman
hot
in it?
female.
Damn right. I'll watch that shit all the time.
Although, I must admit, that is one of two reasons I watched Gangster Squad. Because I love film noir anyway, but Emma Stone in that dress, my word.
You realise that there's pornography. You could just see much more.
Yeah, but it's sort of it's not like pornography. It's all
classy.
classy. That's the word, mate. That's it. Classy.
But it's not
It's
really
like,
classy.
It's like burlesque and striptease. You know,
But it's not really classy though, because you're taking these actors trying to portray a character, and you're sitting there going, "Yeah, look at those tits."
No,
Here.
I'm talking about the look in general. I just mean the
yeah.
character she portrayed, the essence of what she was trying to capture was incredibly sexy for me.
Yeah.
It wasn't just, I don't even think I noticed her cleavage. It was just the makeup and face and the way she walked and the way she smoked a cigarette. And like, there's this point where she first sees Ryan Gosling's character, and she just looks up and gives him this little sort of, like, I don't know. It's
You're totally getting into that, Mike.
I am,
It's
Well, yeah.
like, right in the
Close
moment.
my
Wigging out a bit.
That's how you would look at Ryan Gosling.
I would look at Ryan Gosling, even if he won't eat his cereal.
Talking about Ryan Gosling, have you ever seen that film Drive? Is it Drive or Driver or
Not yet.
Drive?
Just Drive, I think.
Drive. Yes, that's fucking awesome film, that man. My brother, I know it's off topic, but my brother turned around to me and said, you should watch this film, it's Drive. I was like, I fucking hate these Drive films, man. Where it's like, a bunch of guys, racing other guys and stuff. But it was fucking awesome, man. It was so good, so well done. I was so impressed. The soundtrack's quality as well.
I'll have to give it a look.
Yeah, it's so good, but it's just like literally, it's nothing to do with. It's just literally, he's a getaway driver. He doesn't talk really at all throughout the entire film. He gets it literally is just atmosphere the whole way, and it builds and he's really mellow, and he's sort of mellow, and then suddenly just explodes into violence, and then just mellows out again, and then it builds and builds and builds. Yeah, it's like a Tarantino movie. It's like I think Tarantino sort of described in Inglourious Bastards about an elastic band stretching and stretching and stretching, and you think it's going to break, but it keeps on going, and then suddenly it breaks, and this whole hell breaks loose. Yeah. That's the sort of kind of concept. Literally, nothing happens, and you just can feel it's going to happen, and then suddenly it just explodes, and you're just like, fuck, yeah.
Could we possibly turn this question on its head? Although we're going to get, I think, a pretty unanimous answer. Are there any good films that have got games, if you see what I mean?
Chronicles of Riddick.
I haven't played the game.
The first Pitch Black game.
Films is what I'm
Yeah. So when Pitch Black came out, Chronicles of Riddick came out, there was a game in between, and it's all about Riddick escaping from I can't remember the name of the prison. I want to say Botany Bay, but I'm going back to fucking Wrath of Khan. But you sort of play him before he gets his eyeballs shined and the rest of it. But it's the only decent video game I've played based on a movie.
Spider-Man 2.
It's really, really good.
Yeah.
Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, that
which
was
is
right.
by far the best Spider-Man game ever made.
Ooh,
Yeah.
Web of Shadows.
Oh no.
Is that the one based on Ultimate Spider-Man?
No, it's he fights Venom for a bit, and then he gets the black suit, but he thinks he can control it this time. And
Right.
you basically get the whole of Manhattan to play around in, and it's all again. I think it's this idea of almost post-apocalyptic, or the apocalyptic as opposed to post-apocalyptic, because Venom starts taking over everyone.
I don't know. I think I preferred Spider-Man 2. I thought it was just so well done. The fighting, just the combat system in that was almost flawless.
The combo system was great too.
I'm not saying it was it was a very good game. It's just I think Web of Shadows topped it for me.
But yeah, okay, fair enough. But I think that's probably the best game of a film that I've ever seen.
It's not bad. It wasn't perfect, I don't think, but yeah, it's up there with one of the best. But I mean, the Pitch Black game is still one of my favourites. I'm kind of a bit of an FPS nerd, so why it appeals to me a bit more. But if you haven't played it, you should have a look. It's well worth your time.
I reckon they could make a good sort of, it'll be very generic, but they could make a good Call of Duty game. It's with all your sort of kind of, with Soap McTavish and shit like that, couldn't you? It wouldn't, obviously, it'd be just like you know what you would expect it to be, but it wouldn't be too bad, I don't think.
No more Call of Duty style games. It's bad enough that Dead Rising 3 is going to be Call of Duty Zombies. It's just
Is it?
everything is
Is it?
yeah, because well, it's now more brown, and you call in orbital strikes, and it's
Oh.
just from the trailer, it just looked like it's going more into serious action, like a Call of Duty game. It's just fuck
Yeah.
off. I just want to wield 2 chainsaws
Yeah.
and the opposite ends of a really long piece of wood. Why would I want to get really stupid and serious about a Dead Rising game?
I just thought of another film that was made into a game that you might appreciate, Sean. Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh,
Did you ever see that? The film.
Yeah.
No.
What was that with?
Yes.
I can't remember the kid's name now. The kid that was in
Superman. He was in Superman.
yeah, Lois and Clark. I think
Yeah,
it was.
yeah.
And
It was
it
like
had
Jimmy Olsen.
Jeremy
and that blo-
Irons as the villain.
One of the Keenan Ivoryans brothers. One of them. I don't know which one.
Yeah, that
But yeah.
I gave up on that film
Again, that's another sort of
Yeah.
shoot yourself.
about 35 minutes in. It was the bit where there was a series of traps that the main character had to get through, and they were just the way he got through it was just so stupid. I was like, I give up. You're insulting me.
Do you know what? There's only 2 films that I've ever turned off in my entire life, and one was Empire Earth, which was fucking bollocks, and the second was Hannibal with what's his name, fucking Colin. No, what's his name? Irish actor. Fuck. Farrell. Is it
Colin Farrell.
Colin Farrell? Yeah. It's fucking. It was so bad that they.
Oh, the one where he's
Hannibal,
fucking-
not Hannibal. Alexander. Sorry, Alexander. I'm thinking
Yeah.
Carter. Alexander. So basically, he can't do any other accent bar than American one, so he does an Irish accent, and everybody else around him, because he's such a shit actor, does Irish accents, and they're fucking meant to be Greeks, and you're just like, what are you doing? Even fucking what's his name? Balls. He was fucking Batman and Doc Holliday and.
Christian Bale.
No. Fuck. What's his
Michael
name?
Keaton.
No.
Keaton.
But
George
name me another.
Clooney.
No, other Batman.
Val Kilmer.
Val Kilmer.
Val
Even
Kilmer.
Val Kilmer did an Irish accent to make him sort of look like he was at home or something. And it was fucking horrible. And I love my epic history dramas and stuff. And I was just like, this is shit. And I turned it off.
See, I do that quite regularly because I
You're
don't
intolerant
know.
is what you are.
I
I'll
don't
watch.
waste my time with a film that doesn't respect me.
I sort of get pissed off in the same way. Like, did you see Troy?
Yeah, Troy was alright. Sort of.
You can't make that movie and not have gods and goddesses in it, because they're
Yeah.
the reason the whole fucking war starts in the first place. So you exclude them and it just becomes shit.
Yeah,
I
I think-
agreed with Penny Arcade. They definitely should have had the 2 actors turn into Legolas and the Hulk and fight off everyone. That would have made for an excellent film.
Oh man, I didn't mind it. Obviously, like you said, no gods and things like that. Would it have worked with gods and things? Would you thought maybe? It
Yeah,
was,
you would have had it would have had a more of a Clash of the Titans kind of vibe, but
Yeah.
they didn't stick to the subject material. Like the Trojan War's 10 years long, and that lasted a couple of months.
yeah,
And
true. Yeah.
Achilles didn't make it to the Trojan War. He died, fucking 8 years beforehand. There's so much that was wrong with it when you look at the mythology and you look at the movie. It's just, I was really pissed off when I first saw that film.
I liked it, but it had Sean Bean in it, so I sort of automatically liked it. It could have been shit. It could have literally just been Sean Bean standing there baking bread. I would have probably enjoyed it.
So
That's
your
how bad it
perfect
is.
scenario, Matt, would be Sean Bean to get his own YouTube channel where he just puts up half an hour of his life every day.
Yes, that'd be freaking awesome. As long as he didn't die, because it upsets me when he dies. I know he dies a lot, but he's good. He's a good old. He's a northern fellow. Even the one about when he was playing football. What's that? When Saturday Comes. I'm not a
When Saturday
football
Comes,
person, and I still like that film. Just Sean Bean, man's man, hero. He's the 21st century John Wayne, but in Sheffield version of.
So we've had there a nice homoerotic tone. Let's try and get to the slander, and then we'll die off.
Get to the slander.
Get to the
so,
slander.
James, what do you think of Yui Bowl?
I think he's a no-talent hack that exploits the German, is it German or Dutch
Yes.
movie system to make complete abortions of movies, and he milks it for all it's worth. And it's just, I'd like to stab him repeatedly with a spork in the eyeball. I'd put vinegar and salt in afterwards. You know, I'd like to maim the man, but you know, he'd beat the shit out of me, so I wouldn't be able to.
Are you just sitting there with a Casio keyboard? With all the old sounds loaded in.
And I think that Matt Matt don't want to have a complete overthrow again, but do you agree that is Geek Pride's official position on Yui Bowl films?
Yes.
What James has just said?
That's what it is. We completely toe that line and fuck you, fuck you, Yui Bolt, and your shit films. Get a job, hippie.
All right, you've redeemed yourself with Mario. I won't stop.